team coverage of the reaction to President-elect Trump from those who are angry and to voters who are now excited and celebrating the fact.
But we get started with the very latest now on these escalating protests here in D.C., and Tim Barber is there. Tim, what's the latest?
Well, things got tense right before News Channel 8 at 10. If you're watching us there, you saw that. Right now, we're at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and 17th Street. One of the protesters was arrested right down Pennsylvania Avenue, right in front of those cars there, right in front of the north lawn of the White House. He was then hauled away in a Secret Service van right here at the intersection of 17th and Pennsylvania. Let's give you some video that we shot right when that person was being detained by the Secret Service here. They were handcuffed and then taken away. We saw them actually being loaded into the back of that Secret Service van right at the intersection of 17th and Pennsylvania, and then they were taken away. The crowd then dispersed. Earlier, some of the protesters were burning the flag right in front of the Trump International Hotel because they started at the White House and then they walked over there. So we got some video of that as well. And then before that, some of the protesters tried to break through the barrier and some of the police officers right outside the hotel there. So we captured video of that as well. Those were the three tense moments. But the rest of the protesters, for the most part, were peaceful. They were just voicing their frustration with this campaign, and that kind of the Trump win came out of nowhere, according to them, and they're not happy with that. So they're voicing their frustration. They all started at the White House, then they marched to the Trump International Hotel, and then they marched back to the White House, which is where we saw that arrest earlier. All we know is that there was some sort of fight that broke out when that person was arrested. We don't know exactly what happened, but we're working to confirm that information with the Park Police and the Secret Service. As soon as we get any new details, we'll let you know right away. Reporting live on Pennsylvania Avenue, Tim Barber, ABC 7 News.
Tim, thanks. A new protest outside the Trump Hotel in D.C. going on right now as well. We're hearing about paint being thrown and flags being burned there as well. Annalisa Gale is at the hotel for us right now. And Annalisa, what's happening out there?
Well, Jonathan, as you can see, there are officers surrounding the Trump Hotel right now as protesters express their frustration, similar to what Tim was explaining earlier. Take a look. They're holding signs that say "Build bridges, not my president, not walls. We're better than this." And they've also been chanting some of these things, "Not my president," just making sure that their voices are heard. This is how they're feeling, and they're expressing their frustration. It's similar to something that we saw earlier at American University when we were there. Right now, we're joined by a student from Howard University, Isaiah Payne. He came out tonight to this protest. Tell us why you came here, Isaiah.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, very well. I came out here because my country's in distress. A demagogue, a racist, someone who went on, who had a video released of him admitting that he sexually assaulted women, who had rape charges against him, against a 13-year-old.
Well, Isaiah, do you believe in democracy? Do you believe that the results are what it is, and will you accept it?
Yes, I believe in democracy. I believe in democracy. But as a sociologist, I also believe in equality. I believe that lesbians and gays deserve their rights. I also believe that Black Lives Matter. I believe that each and every one of us as individuals are equal. I believe in equality as well. So I feel like that's very important as well, and that's what needs to be pushed, because this man is endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, and Isaiah, this election is dividing this country right now. How do you think we can come together?
Okay, the election is not dividing the country. Donald Trump is dividing the country.
Isaiah, thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll be here throughout the night as this protest continues to grow and the officers monitor the situation. Live outside the Trump Hotel, Annalisa Gale, ABC 7 News.
Not my president, not today! Not my president, not today!
Now, as we mentioned, protests are underway in at least a dozen major cities from coast to coast. Tens of thousands of people protesting. They were doing it in Chicago, and they were doing it for hours. Now, the demonstration stretches, as you can see here, for more than a dozen blocks around Trump Tower. That was in New York City as well. This was the scene in New York City. And yet again, tens of thousands of people converging on Trump Tower there in Manhattan. Many of the protesters say they no longer feel safe in their own country. Others fear their loved ones may be deported. And across the country, in Seattle, police there are now investigating after 5 people were shot near the protests in that city. 2 of those people have life-threatening injuries. Right now, investigators do not believe that the shooting is tied in any way to the protests. We're keeping a close eye on the situation. We'll let you know of any and all developments.
Well, back here at home, when the numbers are broken down, young voters ages 18 to 25 voted overwhelmingly against Donald Trump. So it's no surprise that the dissatisfaction over the new president-elect has hit college campuses hard, and that includes here in our area, where at American University, students set fire to an American flag. Annalisa Gale spoke to that college community today.
Donald Trump is not my president, even though I live in this messed up world.
Isaiah Young set an American flag on fire on Wednesday afternoon at American